Article 2. Now we're talking about the president, the executive branch, the enforcer of laws, commander-in-chief, but not a king. The president signs bills into law or vetoes them, appoints judges, negotiates treaties, leads the military, but needs Congress to declare war. And yes, they can be impeached. Hello, checks and balances. Article 2 tells us what the president can do and what they can't. Power has limits, even at the top. Episode 6, Guns, God, and the Government. Second Amendment meets the 21st century.
We, my people, wave around the Constitution and actually read it, but let's talk about it.
Constitutional law for people in a hurry, smart, funny, real. Because rights are not real if you do not know you have them. We the people.
Welcome to Constitutional Law for People in a Hurry, where we make sense of America's most beloved and misquoted freedoms in less time than it takes your uncle to finish a Facebook rant about the good old days. Today, we're talking about two of the Constitution's most hotly debated topics: guns, the Second Amendment; God, freedom of religion under the First Amendment; and how the government gets caught in the middle every single time. The Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay. Let's talk about the well-regulated militia part that some folks conveniently skip like it owes them money. Translation: the founders were worried about tyranny, so they wanted regular folks, white land-owning men, just to be clear, to be ready to rise up if the government wilded out. Militia meant the state-run defense teams, not your cousin's militia cosplay group with camo in a group chat, okay? But let's be real. In modern America, guns don't mean community defense. They mean personal protection, political performance, and definitely profit. The courts take from muskets to AR-15s. The Supreme Court didn't even take the Second Amendment seriously until 2008. That's right, 2008. That's when they dropped the District of Columbia versus Heller decision. The key ruling from that case: you have an individual right to own a gun, even if you're not in a militia. Then in McDonald versus Chicago, 2010, they said that applies to states too. Boom, now we got incorporation. So now states can regulate guns, but they can't outright ban them, especially in your home. But outside your home, in schools, churches, that's a fight that changes with every tragedy, election, and court ruling. Freedom of religion. God ain't on payroll, but he all up in the office. First Amendment: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That's two clauses. First, we got the Establishment Clause. Government can't push religion on you. But we also have the Free Exercise Clause. The government can't stop your religious beliefs or practices. But baby, that line between separation of church and state and my religion says I can do what I want, phew, that line is blurrier than a group text with a low signal. Prayer in schools, birth control, and big court drama. Here are some cases to know. Engel versus Vitale from 1962. No school-sponsored prayer. Wisconsin versus Yoder, 1972. Amish families can skip school for religious reasons. Burwell versus Hobby Lobby, 2014. Businesses can opt out of birth control coverage. Kennedy versus Birmingham, 2022. Football coach can pray on the field. These cases bounce between keep religion out of public life and let religion run the show. One minute they're saying no 10 commandments in court. Next minute it's let's pray on the 50-yard line. The government be like, we trying, y'all. Here's the tea. The government is constantly caught between people who say the Constitution protects my God, the Constitution protects me from your gun and your God. That's why the courts stay busy. That's why your state laws might say yes to open carry while your city says nope. Looking at you, New York. That's why your religion might give you rights until they clash with someone else's. So why should you care? Why should any of us care about this? Well, if you're black, brown, queer, trans, poor, Muslim, undocumented, or all of the above, your experience of the Second Amendment and religious freedom is not the same as someone walking around Walmart with a rifle and a cross necklace. So this ain't just about guns and God. It's about whose rights get prioritized, who gets to carry without fear, and who gets profiled for just existing. So yeah, the Second Amendment protects gun ownership, but it doesn't protect equality of enforcement. And religious freedom, that's real. But so is the weaponization of religion to deny other people their rights. America loves to talk about faith and firearms, just not the full truth behind them. Next time, we're pulling up with the Fourth and Fifth Amendments: search, seizure, silence, and what to say or not say when the blue lights flash. It's called Police, Privacy, and the Power of the Fourth. So listen, like, comment, and tag someone who thinks the Second Amendment only applies to them. And subscribe, because every right has a history, and somebody fought hard for you to know it. See you next time.
We the people wave around the Constitution than actually read it. But I do. Let's talk about it.
We the people, hey, still alive, still legal. Hey, read that law, feel that flame. Call that right out by its name.
This is constitutional law for people in a hurry. Smart, funny, real. Because rights are not real if you do not know you have them.
We the people, who? You and me. Time to know this history. It is not just text, it is a tool of fight. We the people, say it right.